Hi, I'd like to talk about extraterrestrials and who they really are. Um, Understand that everything, everyone, everything comes from Mother, Father, God, and this includes those who live on other planets outside of Earth. There was a period of time where I referred to myself as, and what I did was galactic readings. My main focus was to let people know the planets of their origin and talk about other worlds where they used to live and talk about the histories of the planets and talk about the forms and the terrain and all kinds of things. And I decided one day that I was going to go big picture. My focus was sort of narrowed into just that, but then I said, well, where does that all fit with the grand scheme of things? Where do these beings and those that live outside of Earth, where do they fit into everything? Going back to what I started saying is extraterrestrials, as well as everything else, the planets and everything come from Mother, Father, God. Those who live, the majority of those who live on other planets are also angels, just as you are also angels. And that's going to be another topic I'm going to cover on another video. Um, they are your siblings, okay? And I know that may seem way out there, but it's true. They just happen to live in different dimensions. Some are much higher than Earth. And then also, they have different forms depending on the dimension. How are they in consciousness? If they're a higher consciousness, they'll appear more as light. Do they live on a planet that perhaps has two, three suns, and then therefore their skin needs to be thicker? Maybe their eyes are smaller, and they take on different forms. And people look at them as aliens and extraterrestrials and something so different than us when they're really not. And yes, some have good intentions toward us and some do not. And that's when we use our discernment. So, when communicating with those from other planets, it's extremely important to use your discernment. Go into your intuition, into your gut, into your knowing, and feel, where they are. What are their intentions toward you? But also, the key, I want to get back to that, is that they are also angels. They're not so different as you. And a lot of times we look at some of them as, wow, they're so way out there, they're so advanced, and they're so cool, and they're just so full of information and knowledge. And yet, they could be from the same angelic order that you are from. So what you're seeing is those that either are where you are, as far um, as far as being the same type of an angel and everything else. But what you're not seeing is that most on earth are blocked. Okay, they are disconnected from who they truly are, and so they're not seeing the similarities. They're not seeing how they are so connected with those that live on other planets. Um, and so this is a big piece of what I teach is we're now raising the bar on consciousness. We are now moving outside of the old energy, moving into the new, becoming more of who we truly are. And the more we start raising up in consciousness, the more we're going to see our connections with those who live on other planets. And yes, the extraterrestrials, aliens, and we look at them like, but they are also angels. They just have different forms. They have different technology. They're just in a different place. So, anyway, they are beautiful, they are bright, and they are just so connected in so many ways, and they are also beautiful angels. But again, just keep in mind as you're connecting with and you're communicating with them. And I know people say, oh, highest, best, love and good, and blah, 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 and highest of the light. And they can, just use your discernment. Just work with those. If you do decide that you do need to work with them, my first thing that I always say is work with God first. If not, if you decide that you're going to work with those those that live on other planets, use your discernment and work with those that you feel have a loving presence, a loving heart, lots of love. And you can feel that. If it feels like nails on a chalkboard as you're working with them, certain ones, then, then I would steer clear. I would just only work with those that are loving. But again, I always make the point, direct connect, talk to God. You can get everything you need from God, but again, if you do decide, just work with the others on other planets. Just keep in mind, how do they feel? Are they communicating with you in a loving way? If you start feeling guilt, you start feeling shame, or you start feeling less than them, and you have these feelings while working with them, and that they're so powerful and so mighty, and I would just steer clear. I would just work with someone else. Anyway, I hope that's helpful, and I will do future videos more about this particular topic.